The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Let's move on to the main event, fellas. For the vacant lightweight championship, we had Ilia Topuria defeating Charles Olivera by KO first round. He called his shot. So these guys in that first round came out swinging. Olivera, I guess he was like, fuck this. He got in the clinch and took it down to the ground. But it was weird how he did it because Topuria kind of reversed it when they were going on the ground and ended up on top. And Olivera almost got that ankle lock, but Topuria fended it off. And when they got back to the feet, right hook by Topuria, followed by that left hook at the same time. And it was good night, Irene, and your new lightweight champion, Ilia Topuria. What were your thoughts on this one, Admire?
Man, I've been trying to think ever since this fight, and I cannot come up with anybody to compare Topuria to. He throws every punch so hard. Like every fighter you watch, you know, they throw the little touches out there, the little jabs, the little feelers. He don't do that. Everything he throws is bad intention, and there's so much power behind it, and there's nobody else like that. Like, it's just unreal how much power the guy puts behind every punch. And I went back and I watched like a whole montage of all his knockouts today. I mean, for his size, I think he's 5'6", I think. He came from 145. This fight was a 155. This dude is just absolute dynamite in his hands, dude. And I mean, you've seen it knocking Olivera out, but man, it's scary how much power this dude packs. There's really not much you can really say about the fight itself. I mean, Olivera's only chance was to get a hold of this guy and try to submit him. But as you've seen from Topuria's last fights, like he's got a good ground game as well. He's got good escapes. You can't really stay a hold of this guy. I can't remember who said it pre-fight. Another fighter said, you know, I'm not gay, but like I gave this dude a hug once and all you feel is solid muscle. Like Topuria is nothing but solid muscle. So like you can't even stay a hold of him and keep him down. So I mean, this guy's going to be a problem for a while. Yeah, I mean, great fighter. I mean, he's quickly becoming one of my favorites to watch. Like it's just highlight reel fight every time.
Steve?
Yeah, he has his own unique style, and what makes him so special is that his other skills outmatch other people's skills that are high level champions. Like that takedown where Olivera had the double underhooks and then Topuria had the overhooks. 99% of the time, Charles would have got that takedown, but he fell so awkwardly. You can tell that Topuria shifted his weight, so he can be on the ground. I was like, man, that he knows wrestling, he knows grappling, and not only that, his forte is striking. And we've seen him go against people to be tested. You know, Olivera is number one of those people who have grappling game amongst many. And we just see him master them as far as even getting out of that leg lock, which a lot of people, Charles was able to reverse and get their back off of that type of reversal, you know. And like Admire said, man, any position he's in, left or right, damn rockets in his hand. And the way he's knocking these dudes out who have, I mean, come on, Volkanovski, Max Holloway, if Gaethje wants it, he can get it, I believe. I think he can snag all these people's jaws. I got a new favorite fighter. He really showed me something on Saturday. I really like Topuria. He's getting in all aspects. Wrestling, like, y'all can take me anywhere, but I'm going to knock you out.
Chris, what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, Aaron Myers got it, man. Like, the guy can just throw punches, bad intentions with both hands. Like he's not in. He went in there with one mission and one mission only to end the fight, and he got it done early. Like he wasn't playing no games tonight. I mean that night. So it was just it was exciting. Like for me watching him, this is like my first fight actually watching him. I'm late in the game in this, so I'm watching him. I saw his highlights, so I knew it was gonna have something special. I didn't know it was gonna be like this. Like he made a fan out of me. Like I'm like, wow, this guy is fireworks right here. He's going in there not playing any games. So I'm a huge fan of him right now. Can't wait to see his next fights, and the sky's the limit for him. Like I didn't like he went up in weight. That's what y'all saying. Like he started.
Yeah. He vacated the featherweight, and
I'm all the featherweights are so happy to get him away from them. Like, get him out of here. This guy's a problem.
It's funny you said that because Sean O'Malley looked at the highlights and he was like, "I'm glad he didn't accept that." When he called him out when he was champion.
Yeah. Daniel, what are your thoughts on this fight?
I love Ilia. I think he's such a badass. And one of the things that I feel like he backed up, unlike Haymaker France, who came out with the and then and then get strangled. One thing that I heard Ilia say when, I don't know if you guys listen to Joe Rogan, but when he was on Rogan for one of his MMA podcasts or whatever, he had said, I always know I'm going to win, so when I'm training, I'm thinking about how I'm going to do it to make it entertaining. And I'm like, damn, like that. I was like, this dude's talking about like that. Like he's not even worried about even, there's no doubt in his mind whatsoever that he's going to lose. He's like, I know I'm going to win. I'm just thinking about how I'm going to do it. How am I going to make it? Because he was even like, he was saying like, people pay a lot of money to come watch us. I'm not trying to be a boring fighter. He was like, people, I mean, you got to think about it. People on their night out, they got to get a babysitter. They got to get a hotel if they're not from town, whatever. And he's like, I want to give people their money's worth. And I'm not sure if it was Kobe or if it was Jordan that had said one time about, you never know if a little kid coming to watch you is going to be like their first time watching you or, whatever. And it's true. You're coming to watch these dudes and the people that do kind of just the Chavez Juniors, right? The ones that are like, I got paid, well, whatever. But what if some little kid there is there to watch you and you can inspire them? I felt like having that dude say that kind of stuff and then watch him do it and in such a beautiful way to just, I mean, Charles is a freaking legend, so to do that to a legend like Charles and just like, man, he was, when he knocked him out, to me, it was like, almost like when freaking Kukui, what the hell's his name?
Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, Tony Ferguson. When was it Chandler that kicked him, knocked him out?
Yeah.
It was you see a legend like that go down, and you're just like, oh damn, that hurt me, because it's just like so much in that second that legacy, not that Charles' legacy is now over, but just to see that, you hate to see a champ like that just go down in that fashion. But Ilia's that bad, man. He is a bad man. And they did bring out, both of his belts. He vacated one, but, and that was one thing I thought was kind of whack, was they kept promoting it as, only this many fighters are a double division, champion or whatever. And I'm like, he vacated it, so not technically, but I see what you're saying. But it was just kind of like, definitely an accomplishment, but he can't hold a belt that he no longer is retaining, So that kind of weird.
Like, but that kind of, I had to make Volkanovski feel some type of way, because Volkanovski's the featherweight champion right now. So
can you imagine like somebody coming out with your bout, I'll be like, that's me coming on your show with a t-shirt that says EJ on it. You'd be like, fool, get your ass out of here, So I don't know.
My bad.
Go ahead, Steve.
I said those featherweights know who daddy is. He said, keep my belt warm before I come back. He beat Volkanovski. I mean, he proved a big point. He's like, man, what's the point? Let me go over here. Because even if those two even fought, which was Volkanovski and for him, Volkanovski to get the belt, who did he just fight?
He fought it was Lopez. Didn't he fight Lopez?
Diego Lopez.
Yeah, he wasn't worried about none of them. And that's how amazing. He went to see a goal and not settle for less, and didn't hold up a division to see how much that shows his integrity as a man too. Most people wouldn't have done that.
For sure. So 2 things before we get on out of here. Post-fight, you pan to the crowd, you see Justin Gaethje. He was like shit. Like he don't want none of that. Who else did they pan to before Pimlet? They panned over to was it Armin Sarukian? He looked like he didn't want any of that. They panned over to this blonde hair.
It's like just telling people to read, and you kind of look down. You're like, ah, shit, I don't, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Camera was panning over, and everybody just automatically started, engaging in a conversation with their neighbor or something. Like, hell no, like nobody wants that smoke. I'm telling you.
They panned over to Paddy Pimblett. He was all smiles, and lo and behold, Joe Rogan told him to come on in the cage and face to face. And like you said, he had his 2 belts on, and he did this little T-Rex arm push, and it's on and popping. And post fight, Dana White's like, this shouldn't happen. I'm like,
yeah, and it was pissed. I was mad.
Are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is perfect promotion. And on the other show, we're talking about lack of stars, and like, this is like, in your mind, you definitely had to like this. But then reading more about it, the reason why he didn't like it, I saw like an extended part, is because the kids and the wife were in the case. All right, I get that why he's saying, but still, at the end of the day, any promo is good promo, and that's a way to get this on and cracking. So, what are y'all thoughts on this whole post fight and Paddy Pimblett possibly being the next opponent? I'll let you kick it off, Admire.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like you said, we always talk about they need to find their next superstar, with especially like, John Jones announcing his retirement within the past couple of weeks. They need to find that next big star. I think that, Topuria can be that next big star, and Paddy Pimblett has the European, market kind of cornered. So why not put these two in there together and see what you can do business wise? Because either way, you're going to win as a business and come out with your next big star. The buildup's going to be huge. The world tour going on, the media tour, everything around it could be huge. So, we've said it before. Like, why are they not business smart and throwing their money into this? Why are they not doing exactly what a good business should do? Like, they're just trying to do the opposite of it. Like, I don't know. I don't get their logic.
Steve?
Oh yeah, I think there's even for MMA fans who do the rabbit hole dig or just do everyday knowing knowledge of MMA. I think they had an altercation, at a hotel or something.
Yeah, I've heard about that, but I didn't get to read into it. But go ahead.
Yeah, so there's a storyline behind that. We have Paddy Pimblett, always calling him a Spanish sausage. He always calls him that. And they don't like each other. And so I can see promotion, because Paddy Pimblett does have fans, and I think he had people who wanted him to lose. But as of lately, I think of now he's gained a little bit of respect amongst MMA fans to where he can start entering the limelight of fighting some of these high class dudes, as far as having his own social, gathering himself to be promoted as such. And another character enters the chat. I think Paddy Pimblett been having a good. This can be a Topuria test, because Paddy Pimblett's been looking very good on his grappling as of lately. I think it would be a good fight, but that matters how far Pimblett is in the so-called rankings.
Yeah, Chris, what do you think about the post-fight shenanigans and whatnot?
Well, this is good marketing. The UFC needs a superstar. They can develop this. They have a storyline with these two guys, so they can bounce off of that. Hopefully create a superstar out of this, and I think it's a legendary move for the UFC to do right now. So they're just throwing things at the wall. Again, like we always say, they need a superstar. So this is a good way to get some eyes on the sport. They have a background, so this is great for them.
Daniel?
First of all, I think Dana White's full of it, man. Talking about, I don't know why they let him in the cage and this and this, whatever. I mean, when just before that, Amanda Nunes, he's over here, why aren't they letting her in? For that post fight. And now he's over here saying, I don't know, it's because I wasn't there. Shut up, Dana. This is all good promotion. Even if they don't make the fight, that right there is just clips and for their TikTok and all that good stuff, whatever. So he's full of it. He tries to. I think it was just a power. All comes to power. Daddy didn't say it was okay. So you guys, I can't believe you guys went out to go play. Like, no. Like, come on now. Just it was a little weak. I thought that was kind of weak. One thing I love though about Patty is that he has like, I mean, if I'm gonna insult somebody and I have to be like that bitch ass, whatever, my insults are weak, right? But Patty can come with some stuff like Chris over here, Christopher looking like a cold potato, and you're like, what the fuck does that even mean, dog? You're like he has some insults that are so weird. I've told you from day one he's a lumpy tomato, or whatever. You're like, what the like? It's just the weirdest shit ever. But it's cool because, like, I don't know, man. Maybe we go over to his country and we have some shit that's just kind of weak here. Maybe slaps over there, right? They're like, oh, he called him a bitch ass mofo or whatever, And like, but it's just funny. So Patty's always entertaining. People love to watch his journey with his, he's 250 pounds before his fight and then he's 130, his fight day of. He's like, how does he do it? So Patty's entertaining. So I would love to see him, but I'm just excited. I thought post-fight was cool. Yeah, man. I was actually pretty happy with this card, so I can't complain.
Yeah. Overall, this was a banging card. Like, might have not got the most mainstream, attention, but definitely a fight fans card. But to wrap this up, we'll never see a star as big as Conor McGregor. That was lightning in the bottle. He hit at the right time. Because I was thinking about who hits the hardest Topuria in the lightweight division. The only person you could think of like a knockout artist like that is probably Conor, but he didn't do it for long enough. So I think Topuria has a chance to being all-time great if he stays on track. And like I said, we'll never see a Conor McGregor, but I think you could see another like GSP. You know how popular GSP was. You can make Topuria into like maybe another GSP, even if he doesn't, peak as much as some fighters did in the US. But you got to think of the bigger picture worldwide. Topuria speaks like 4 different languages: English, Spanish, Georgian. I think he speaks a couple other languages, and so you can market that worldwide and just make him a big star overall. So I think the UFC, like, you need to capitalize on that and strap the rocket to this kid, because like we said, there's lack of stars and as far as household names, so you got to do it. But I don't know, this whole TKO era, I don't really have faith in it. I don't know if anybody wants to chime in before we wrap on up.
I would like to add one thing. UFC channel has never posted a main event fight the same damn night. I saw that, I'm like, and it got 10 million views in one day. Topuria is a star.
Yeah, see, you just reminded me. I was going to say the exact same thing. I remember that night. I was like, man, the last time I remember them doing that was when I think it was when somebody got knocked out. I was like, man,
Pierre.
It was when somebody got knocked out, and I was like, man, the UFC don't like them because they never post a main event. Result.
Wasn't it Pierre when Pierre got that knockout? They posted it right away.
Something like that. But yeah, I mean, they instantly posted the knockout. So I was like, man, the UFC, they're throwing some weight behind this kid, because they normally wouldn't show that, and it was right away. It was within 5 minutes. The UFC had it posted to like Facebook, Instagram, and shit like that. So they're seeing something with him. But I mean, I'd like to see him do the Patty Pimlet thing, because you're going to get a lot more eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they got it right on the table, but I don't know. Gaethje's there too. You can't go wrong with either fight, but Gaethje, I don't know. What was the fight that he had? Who did he beat recently? Was it Holloway? Not Holloway. Poirier.
He got knocked out by Holloway.
Yeah, he got knocked out by Holloway. That was 300, and he face planted 1 second left. But was it Did he get a win over Poirier? I feel like he hadn't won a big one recently, and he's like,
yeah, I think his last win was Poirier.
He was barking at like
against Poirier. He's about to rematch Poirier, I think. He got what was it? It was Gaethje and Poirier who had a feud.
Gaethje won against Fiziev. Lost against
See,
Holloway. Won against.
He head kicked
Gaethje
Poirier.
beat him with a head kick, the second time.
Yeah. His last win was Fiziev, lost to Holloway, beat Poirier, beat Fiziev again before that, lost to Olivera, beat Chandler, lost to Khabib. Yeah.
So I mean, he was threatening. He's like threatening to retire if he doesn't get the next title match. But like you said, Pimblett is on the table. So you know how UFC, they don't take kindly to threats of retiring. They'll be like, go ahead and retire. So
Dana White told him if you have thoughts of retiring, then just retire. So they're not going to go for it.
Yeah, they definitely have options with Topuria being a champion now, and you still have Islam who went up. If he gets the welterweight title, they're going to be chomping at the bits to make that super fight. But we will see how things unfold in the future. Thank you for checking out this Haymaker Combat Sports segment. This full episode can be found on the Haymaker Combat Sports YouTube page and in audio form on all major podcast platforms. Until next time, peace.